Greetings, Exiles. BullShifter here. Today, I wanted to do a bit of a PSA on something I've had quite a few discussions over the last few days on my YouTube channel about with various subscribers and viewers. And that is the current inflation rate of the trade market. So I kind of want to make this video so that way, one, people kind of understand the market we should be seeing for a lot of these items, and two, to kind of make sure buyers and sellers aren't getting duped by other players, essentially, and to possibly educate players who may not necessarily know what they're listing their items for. So to start off, there are a couple of really great resources online. One of the biggest ones that I like to use is poe.ninja. So what poe.ninja is essentially a website that gathers a lot of the current trade information on PC and gives you a general average of what a lot of these items sell for. So when you first log into the page, it'll actually go ahead and tell you to pick the league that you're currently in, because it does matter what league you're in. If you're just doing standard, prices are always going to be cheaper in standard because those items are always there. The market's building, so things are much, much cheaper in standard than they are going to be in other leagues. Now, however, if you're playing the current league and say you're playing hardcore, hardcore is typically going to have items that are a bit pricier because people are, essentially they're dying in hardcore and getting transferred over to standard, and those items in turn come with them. So there's less items on the market, and people are a bit more cautious on hardcore and more willing to actually spend a bit more on items that will keep them alive, so that way they can continue to run the league. Now, currently we're in Synthesis. Obviously, there's about a month left in Synthesis. So this is around the time in the league that prices will start to drop for the most part. So I figured we'd just go through a couple items that I find kind of interesting to look at the prices of compared to what they're going for on PC. So one of the big ones that I currently am looking to purchase for the character I've been using on stream so far, for my Necromancer, is the Baron Close helmet. The Baron Close helmet is a super useful unique. It essentially, helps out with summoning minions and strengthening those minions and giving them better stats based on your character's strength. So if I go to poe.ninja and just type in Baron, under armors, it'll actually show me the Baron Close helmet. And I can see that currently, on average on PC, it is going for 1 Chaos Orb. There'll be a little search icon that'll also be on that screen, which could take you to various websites where you can actually see the different transactions and what it's gone for. So when I do that, I can see someone sold one for a Cartographer's Chisel, someone else sold one for 1 Chaos, 1 Chaos, 1 Chaos, 1 Chaos. Looks like, for the most part, it's a 1 Chaos item. That's about the last 10 in a row I've looked at here sell for 1 Chaos. So let's go ahead now, just for fun, and see what it's going for on the PS4 trade market. So we'll modify our search term. It's a helmet. It is a close helmet, which should show up down here. Now it's going to say level 26 strength, but it doesn't mean it's going to be a level 26 item. So just kind of keep that in mind. That's just the required strength, the required level for the base item itself. So if I actually click in the left stick, that item level is level 70. But we can also click left stick and left on the D-pad and just type in Baron, which was already typed in, but that'll actually highlight the item for us. And now we can go through and just look at the highlighted items and see what the Baron helmet is going for. So this person wants 15 orbs of fusing. So if you want to compare that to the actual orbs, there is actually a spot on poe.ninja where you can also look at the currency conversion right now. So if we go into currency and look at, let's see where the orb of fusing is. Having trouble finding it on this small screen. I want to say it's... Okay, so yeah, it's currently about 3. So typically 3 orbs of fusing are worth 1 chaos. So this person's asking for 5 chaos, 5 times more than what it's going for currently on PC. Now, in their defense, it is a 4-socket and they are all fused, and it already has 20% quality. But 5 times as much is a little steep. So some people don't have anything listed here, so we could potentially offer them, whatever, 25 chaos, 25 times more than what it goes for on PC, 15 times more, 20 times more, 14 times more. Perandus coins, which about 15 Perandus coins is worth 1 chaos currently on PC. So that's ridiculously inflated. 2 exalted orbs. At that point, why even post your item? You're never going to sell that. No one is ever going to pay 2 exalts for a Baron Close helmet. That's ridiculous. Either someone is being super greedy or really has no idea what their Baron helmet is worth. So as you go through, you realize that, 50 chaos. Everything is super inflated. 3 exalted orbs. The orb of fusing one is actually the most reasonably priced one, and they have a 4-socket which is linked. So they are at least, and it had 20% quality. So, I mean, they're at least offering something with, some value to it, and it's somewhat close. Now, I will say this, PC does have a much larger player base than what PS4 has. However, honestly, it shouldn't be more than 2 to 3 times more of, the cost on PC. Because, maybe we have half as many players as PC has, but, the synthesis event, it's going on PC and on PS4. So those items, haven't been on PC for much longer than they've been on PS4. I believe they played the synthesis event for maybe an extra 2 weeks. So, definitely price check your items before you buy them, before you put them up for sale. Because essentially what's happening here is people are putting up all these items at ridiculous costs, and players are either essentially breaking their banks to get one of the items for their build, and they're not able to really afford anything else until they grind out more and more and more and get some lucky drops. Or these items are literally just sitting up here. I think it would be awesome to actually see how long some of these items have sat up here, because I guarantee these people asking for exalted orbs for a somewhat mid-rarity unique aren't really having any luck finding, buyers for their items. There's 4 pages here. Half the pages are filled with barons. So, I mean, that's essentially 2 pages worth of barons. There's no way you're ever going to sell something like that for multiple exalted orbs. Hopefully this will balance out over time. The game is relatively new. People may just be posting stuff in hopes that, maybe they'll get someone to bite. But at the same time, for one, you can check right within the game to see what people like in-game are actually listing that item for. When you have someone who's listing it for even just 10 chaos, there's no reason for you to ask for 3 exalted orbs. No one's going to give you, essentially more than 30 times what the other person's asking. It's just a ridiculous notion. And like I said, you can also check poe.ninja. It works on cellular devices as well. So it's something you can check on, actually look into before you go to, buy an item or sell an item. And some of those people who actually have items on the block where they're not asking for anything, you could potentially offer them, more of a fair price. Now, you will get some people, and I've had this happen, who will respond, I'm not going to sell that to you for that price, and you'll tell them, like, hey, this is around what it goes for on PC, and then they'll tell you, well, go find someone else who will sell it to you for that price. That's fine. Don't buy into their inflated prices, because all you're doing is, kind of feeding that inflated market, and it's not going to balance itself out if people are, essentially actually getting what they want. So, let their items sit, don't buy them, and eventually over time, hopefully the market will balance out a little bit. I do expect it to always be inflated compared to PC, because for one, we don't have the player base, and 2, on PC, there's a lot more resources and macros that can be assigned that will actually help people determine the prices of items. But just as kind of a PSA, use poe.ninja. It's a great website. It's not always 100% accurate, but it'll at least give you a ballpark range of what you should be buying items for and selling items for. And, be a part of the market correction as opposed to the market inflation problem. People know who they are. Some of these people know what they're doing. So, do your best to not feed into it and to help the market balance out. Because hindering other players' progress, it doesn't help anyone. It makes it so there's less stuff on the market, and while that can be potentially good for sellers, at the same time, if no one can afford your items, you're not making a profit either. So it's not benefiting anyone. Be fair in your pricing, and like I said, don't be taken advantage of. So I hope this PSA helped out a little bit. Hopefully it'll encourage some people to lower their prices and others to not buy into those overly inflated and ridiculous prices and to essentially not get duped. I will be streaming again later today. I think on tonight's stream I may do something a little different because as of the time that you're viewing this video, the flashback event has actually started. It started a little earlier than I thought it was initially. So I hope everyone's having fun with that. I will probably be streaming my flashback player just so I can get kind of a head start on that tonight. And yeah, I will see you all in a few hours. So until next time, may the RNG be with you, always.